Hey, happy weekend, everybody. It is Saturday, May 7th, about noontime, New York time, and just making a quick video for the week coming up here. So, um, as always, it's just my opinion on things, and you know, trade as you see fit, do your own analysis, come to your own conclusions, and good luck coming up this week. So we'll just go through these as fast as I can here. And I probably won't cover all these pairs, but we'll start off here with the Euro Aussie. And you can see we've been in an uptrend here. And I believe now that we are in, this is a wave 5, and we're in wave 4 of that 5. So this trend will be ending soon. So this is the 4-hour chart, but if you dig down a little further, you can see this a little bit more. This is probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I do expect that this trend will end. So if you're looking to trade this, I probably would stand pat for now, wait for this, probably have a small move up for wave 5, and then you could look for a short on a lower time frame. Alright, so that's Euro Aussie. Euro Canadian. So I have this labeled as in an ABC pattern right now. I was thinking this was the wave 4, but it's just kind of out of proportion to the rest of this. So this honestly was probably the wave 4 if you go down a little further. So I think this is an AB, and now we're going to go down for C. So be looking for shorts on Euro Canadian. Euro dollar. So we had non-farm payrolls come out on Friday, and that pretty much was a non-event. This candle right here was the non-farm payroll candle, and you can see the market really just kind of didn't do anything the rest of the day. This is the 1-hour chart, and we had a range of about 90 pips on the day, but from where the NFP number came out until where the day closed, we only had a range of 23 pips on the entire day. So that is, as I said in that video I made last week, that there is occasionally times where the news doesn't do anything, and that was because it came out as a mixed bag. And so if we look at this, let me see if I can just bring it up here really fast. So here it was, as predicted, the number was quite low on the actual job creation. It came pretty much in line with the ADP number that came out on Wednesday. Average hourly earnings and unemployment rate, however, stayed the same. So it's definitely a mixed bag, and I think that's why you saw this kind of whipsawing and then just really didn't do anything. So and that can happen. And so hopefully you didn't get whipsawed too much if you decided to try to get in there and jump the market. So anyways, I still think that we're nearing the end of a trend or a correction on this pair, and this looks like it will go down again, and then we'll end a trend and then probably head up. So here we are, we're down here on the 30-minute chart, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, down a little bit more and then up. Now whether this is a trend or an ABC correction to this uptrend, I'm not sure, but it does look like the next move would be a small move down and then up, and that probably will happen sometime this coming week. So alright, on to Euro Kiwi. So here on the daily chart, you can see we're consolidating inside this triangle. We've now gone up and touched the top of it again, and it looks like there is probably 5 waves in place here. And down on the 20-minute chart, we probably are in wave C. If here was the top, it was the end of this trend, ABC down, and so I think this probably will go up a little bit, and then maybe somewhere around this area will sell off again. This looks like a little ABC within this bigger wave here. Okay, so so like I said, the daily bounced off the top of this channel, moved down. Now at some point it's going to break out of this pattern. I don't think it's going to do it this time. It's probably going to go down and touch this again, and then, but I do think at some point we'll break out of this pattern. So, but for now, you can certainly play the trends within inside of here. So, Euro Yen, again on the daily, we have this in the daily and the weekly. We have this channel. We've come down and tagged that channel again. If you go down to these pair, this time frame here, looks like we're probably, maybe this is a wave 4 or a wave C. So I think the next move up, the next move will be up, and then probably back down again for the end of the correction. Now, same thing here is that at some point I think this is going to break out of this pattern, but it's been very well contained inside of here. So we may go up again. This, given the fact that this is heading down, sometimes is suggestive of the fact that it may break to the upside. But as long as it's contained within these blue parallel lines here, then you either may not want to trade it at all, or you want to go to a lower time frame and look for patterns forming within within this channel. Okay, so because there certainly could be something happening inside of that channel. So anyways, Kiwi dollar I'm going to skip for now. Aussie dollar, again, this looks down on the 1 hour chart. Looks to be in a correction. The next trade probably will go down again. This probably will go up and then down again. And then we may be looking at the end of a trend here on the 4 hour chart. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this starting from about right here looks to probably be wave 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would be watching for the end of a trend on the 4 hour chart. So I think it will go down again. Perhaps if it's the same length as wave 1, once this wave 4 here finishes, may go down about 50 or 60 pips, and then that probably will be it. So I'd probably be looking for the end of a trend on the Aussie around the 3 or 4 hour time frame. Okay, so Aussie Yen, this is the 15-minute chart. Again, this looks clearly like a correction in a downtrend, so I would be looking for this to resume the downtrend here. So that would be the next trade here on the higher time frames. We definitely see a strong down move, and so that may also end a trend. And we are approaching this channel again, and so that could be a target. But the next move, this would be to end this correction on a lower time frame and then continue down, and that's what I'm seeing here. This is potentially an ABC and then eventually down. So all right, US yen, looking at the 20-minute chart here, and this looks like the ending part of a trend, which is probably part of a larger correction. Now this is a mess here because of all these labels, but anyways, down here on the 20-minute chart, I think the next move, this is a very small little trend inside of this correction. So but you look for where the trends are. So I think the next move is going to be up for a small amount. And again, this is a 20-minute chart, so this isn't a lot of pips. It's only about 50 pips. So if this finishes, then we'll go up 50 pips, maybe up to around 107.50, and then we'll be looking for that to go down again. And then you see on the higher time frames, we still are in the downtrend, so I do expect the larger downtrend to continue on for a while. So US Canadian, again, I think this is in a wave 4 of a correction. So we've seen a pretty impulsive move up here. So I think the US Canadian has potential to continue to go up here, but I do think that we'll see a correction. I think this trend will end here, and we'll see this come back down. So again, this isn't one I trade a lot, but this has been very impulsive to the upside here. You can see this strength here on the daily chart is much stronger than we've seen in a while. So whether this is the start of something new or whether this is just really a correction, we'll have to see. But I mean, it's going straight up, but it looks like this initial wave is probably going to end here soon, and then we'll have a correction down. So okay, US Swiss, again, this is the opposite of the euro dollar, and so again, non-farm payroll came out, and this was the candle for the non-farm payroll on Friday. This is the hourly chart, and again, it just kind of, you know, fooled you a little bit thinking that it was going up. I mean, excuse me, down, and it went down for a little bit, and then it came right back and closed the day higher. And so I still have this labeled as an ABC, but again, very impulsive here on the 12-hour chart. It's going straight up, but I still do think that this will end and go back down. If it stays contained inside of this high, then I still think this is probably more likely an ABC, and we will turn and go lower. So again, this is complete opposite of the euro dollar, so whichever what one does, the other one will do the opposite. So I would look for the end of this this week, and you know, a substantial correction, if not the resumption of a downtrend. But it did not happen here. I thought maybe we would see this as a wave 5 and then down, but it just proves that it doesn't always have to coincide with news, although it a lot of times does. So on the cable, 12-hour chart here certainly looks to be in a corrective move down. It looks like we completed a trend here, 1 2 3 4 5, and so I would expect that we're going to continue to see some weakness here in the short term in the cable, and then it's going to go back up. Now again, this is with the US dollar, so if we're thinking the US dollar is going to go down, then this is going to go up, and so I do anticipate that we will eventually see this turn back up. We did have this strong up move here. This looks like to be a correction, and maybe we're heading down now in wave C, and that we will eventually turn up at the end of this correction, if that's what this is. So I'd be on the lookout for potential longs here on the cable. So just moving on really quick. Pound Swiss on the 4-hour chart here. Actually, we go down a little bit here, little trend here. This looks to be potentially in a wave 4, and we'll move up a little bit, and then you can see here, this appears to be a trend correction, and we're going up. So my guess is that we will continue to the upside. Now, whether this is an ABC or whether this is a new trend, we'll have to see. But this could be a wave 1, 2, and go up for a larger 3 on the pound Swiss, and so we'll see. But this definitely looks like a trend, a correction. Now we're heading back up. So I would be looking for ends of corrections and maybe opportunities to go long on the pound Swiss. So pound Canadian, I'm looking that this is either a wave 3 or a wave C here. You can see I have it labeled as ABC or 1 2 3, but either way, go down a little bit here. It looks like we're probably nearing the end of this. Whether this is a C or a 3, this is on the 3-hour chart. It's probably ending soon. So I don't know if I'd be looking to go long here. Maybe be looking for the end of a trend, and maybe look to go short on a shorter time frame. This might have been the end of it here. We'll see. I kind of have this area marked out as a potential support area. If we break this, then we may be heading lower. So I'm pound Canadian. So pound Aussie, between the H1 and between the hourly and the 4-hour chart here, I would say we're in a correction down. The next move I would anticipate would be up in the pound Aussie, and again, whether this is a correction, we go out to the daily chart. We have this this long-term move to the downside, and now we're moving back up. And we'll have to see whether this is a new impulsive move to the upside or whether this is just a correction. But the next move would be up. Continue to look for longs. CCI is still showing, putting in new highs, so Certainly I'd be, looking for some long opportunities, but being cautious that, we could be potentially reaching the end of this trend at some point, and at least a correction to the downside. But for now, I'd be looking for longs. Yeah, I'm going to skip the pound Kiwi for now. And pound yen and Canadian yen, these are pretty much in the same boat. On both of these, I have them right next to each other on my chart because they're very similar. There's more pips in the pound yen, but they're very similar. So on the 20-minute chart, it does look like we're probably ending a correction. This is only a 20-minute chart, so you have to keep that in mind. But this looks like potentially a correction. ABC, once this finishes, will be looking to go short. And the CCI is suggesting that this is corrected, going up, spread apart. And so I would be looking for this to stay short. And the CCI did make a new low on this low, so which means this downtrend's probably not over. It's just in a corrective phase. So again, and that's the same on the pound yen and the Canadian yen. They look almost identical at where they are right now. So both of these I'd be looking to go short at the end of these corrections, and that may be happening fairly soon. I think this is probably in a wave 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe go up a little bit more, and I'd be looking maybe to sell from around this area or so on either pair. This is the pound yen maybe around the 154.80 area, and on the Canadian yen, maybe up here around the 83.20, 83.30 area to go short. And like I said, they're almost identical. So anyway, so that's it for the pairs. And just a quick look at the news. A lot quieter this coming week than what we just had. Let me just get to that here in Forex Factory. You can see Sunday, Monday, we have some yellow level things here. There's some stuff going on with the euro. We have some Chinese news which can affect the Asian currencies, but nothing really that important. Starting on Tuesday, we have we have Kiwi news, so I'll look at the Kiwi a little bit more. I'm not really too interested in the Kiwi right now, but I'll be looking at it again come Tuesday. Wednesday, we have this manufacturing production number for the pound. I tell you, these pound numbers, figures have been coming out lately, really have had no impact. I've been watching these many times. Been set my alarm at 4:30 in the morning and trying to watch these, and they all of them have done nothing. So I may not even bother with this one, especially considering what's coming Thursday for the pound. But crude oil inventories certainly, that one actually has been moving the market a little bit, especially the Canadian dollar and the U.S. dollar. The Canadian dollar, because it's so dependent on commodities and oil. Yeah, even though this is U.S. stocks, it seems to have an effect on the Canadian market too. We got the RBA assistant governor speaking again. May not do anything. Due to speak about proving standard, that doesn't really look like he's going to be talking about anything related to their currency, so I'm not really too worried about that. So Thursday is probably the biggest part of the week. You have the for the British pound, the official bank rate vote. They're not expecting any change, so we're probably, assuming that's the case, we'll look for their for the minutes and the policy summary here, and the inflation report. And I think these will be much more indicative, assuming that the bank rate vote does not change, and assuming that they don't touch the rate. So we'll have to see what it's looking like, but this is probably the most important piece of the news of the week. And then you have, of course, Carney speaking 45 minutes later with his comments. So this whole hour from between about 7 and 8 a.m. New York time Thursday will be fairly critical. And U.S. dollar unemployment claims, again, coming off the back of NFP. This probably is not going to do anything. Then you have retail sales for the Kiwi, and that's probably pretty important. They're expecting an increase. So again, I'll be looking at the Kiwi closer on Thursday evening. And then Friday, U.S. dollar retail sales, PPI. Sometimes these have an effect, sometimes they don't. But I'll certainly will be watching it. So I think that a lot this week will be technical moves. There's not a ton of fundamental stuff to move the market. Maybe only a couple of events. But it doesn't mean there won't be any trading to be had. It just means that you need to just be focused more on the trends and the technicals. And so I think that's where, you know, something like following Elliott Wave will be helpful to me to see where the technicals are going, because there may not be a lot of fundamental news to talk about unless something really big comes up. So anyways, so that's it, and hope you guys have a great week, and make some pips, and I'll talk to you soon. Leave your comments on the YouTube page or in the Skype chat room, and we'll talk to you soon.